wilderness within you, the 28th day of Lent, which is the Tuesday of week 5. Our reading from the Good News translation of the Bible is from 1 Kings chapter 19, verses 8 to 13. Elijah got up, ate and drank, and the food gave him enough strength to walk 40 days to Sinai, the holy mountain. There he went into a cave to spend the night. Suddenly the Lord spoke to him. Elijah, what are you doing here? He answered, Lord God Almighty, I have always served you, you alone. But the people of Israel have broken their covenant with you, torn down your altars, and killed all your prophets. I am the only one left, and they're trying to kill me. Go out and stand before me on top of the mountain, the Lord said to him. And then the Lord passed by and sent a furious wind that split the hills and shattered the rocks. But the Lord was not in the wind. The wind stopped blowing, and then there was an earthquake. But the Lord was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake, there was a fire. But the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, there was the soft whisper of a voice. When Elijah heard it, he covered his face with his cloak and went out and stood at the entrance of the cave. A voice said to him, Elijah, what are you doing here? I think it would be fair to say that I have been able to raise procrastinating to a combination of art form and occupation. In my toolkit of strategies for avoiding actually knuckling down to the task awaiting my attention, by far the most useful and durable ruses are eating and buying things. I wander down to the kitchen to brew a cup of tea, and the 5 minutes I promised myself extends to baking a whole batch of sticky buns and some leek and potato soup. It's surprising how much I can accomplish, just as long as I'm really supposed to be doing something else. And I become spellbound by Facebook trivia and YouTube videos, embroiled in long chats about politics and animal rights. Almost anything seems important while I'm meant to be doing some work. It occurs to me to search out a journal I thought I'd subscribed to, and I remember to look up reviews of barefoot running shoes and make a price comparison on a selection of discount sites. Strung out, unfocused, and almost used up, I return for one last push at 2:30 in the morning. This article has to be written today. It has to be on the editor's desk when she gets into her office. The silence of Jesus says, that, my chum, is the point of fasting in the wilderness. No internet, no coffee breaks, no shops, no reading material. Apparently, I read this on Facebook, there's a Muslim tradition of men going into the desert to find themselves again, to recover their real selves that get lost in all the confusion of everyday life. They are known as men of memory, a title also given to the state historians of the Central African Luba tribe, who were entrusted with committing to memory the cultural minutiae that make up their identity. The men who went out into the magnificent silence of the desert knew that in escaping from distraction they could find themselves again, free from the attraction of conversations overheard, of news and gossip, free from household problems and squabbles, and from eye-catching pastimes and wares. The refugee from trivial impedimenta finds his mind clarifying into the seeing mirror of the soul. Tossed about in all the coming and going of daily life, a man captures data and retains detail of current events going on around him. He knows what he had for lunch and what's on TV in the evening, but his mind is filled with the urgent chatter of an incessant procession of stuff that hardly matters. Going cold turkey from all this in the desert is drastic, but it works. The deep dilemmas of his heart, the existential verities, the ontological insights and struggles begin to make themselves felt as he goes down, down into the unbearable intensity of being, feeling its flimsiness, its immensity, flung between its ennui and its potency. He is left with nowhere to run from what it is to be human, to be alone. In such circumstances, men meet God, and God meets the devil. The wilderness is not for wimps. It nails the soul inescapably to the intolerable crux of reality. The desert, as an aid to concentration, is unrivaled. In every walk of life, those who face decisions that really matter, momentous tasks to be undertaken, solemn vows and profound responsibilities, intuitively seek wilderness. They hike into the mountains and walk by the ocean. They book into the hermitage and row out to the island. Jesus, walking away from the comfortable familiarity of his home at Nazareth, is no exception. The time has come to focus on who he is and what he has come here to do. I closed down Facebook and put away the interesting journal about land rights. The phone rings, but I don't answer it. Downstairs I hear the family laughing and talking, but I stay here as night falls in the silence of my small room. There is work to be done. I write sitting on my bed. The room is so little that I can sit at the head of the bed, leaning my back against the wall, and Jesus can sit at the other end with the opposite wall as a backrest. His presence is no distraction. I look up from time to time, and there he still is, His eyes are closed, and his features composed into a perfect radiance of peace. Jesus, my Lord, is beautiful. His soul encompasses the desert, the ocean, the sky. Even without leaving the confinement of my tiny room, I can enter the immensity of this absolute spaciousness. He is praying, I think, praying for me. And I get my work done.